Okay, this video is going to be about the Yamaha SSV Works subwoofer. It's only available through Yamaha. SSV Works makes the whole Yamaha stereo, which we know is ridiculously priced. I've worked with SSV Works stuff before. Their speakers are decent. Their fiberglass subboxes are actually nice. I've worked with the non-amplified ones. This is the first amplified one that I have, and I mean, I already see a couple issues, but we'll get over that in a minute. First, let's go over the installation. The installation was pretty straightforward. Crappy Yamaha instructions as usual. Their drawings, you can't tell whether the bracket faces forward or backward. You just have to hold it up, see which way it goes, and mount it. You have to take off the rear side portion behind the driver's seat, as well as this plastic mudguard wheel well. You have to take that off. Once you get that off, you prepare the subwoofer. It comes with a bag with two brackets. One bracket goes onto the bottom, and it mounts to underneath the box, and then it folds down the front, and it uses the two factory bolts that are down here, and those go in through the bracket, through the mount, and that's what mounts the back of the box. The front of the box has a bracket that you can see, mounts on the side, goes across the top, comes down the other side, mounts there, and it mounts right to the seat frame here. The seat sits on top of this, and you've got two there. You can get at the nuts behind them really easy. The bottom one doesn't use nuts. They just go right into the factory threaded area. So that's as far as mounting it. It's good. And the fiberglass boxes, like I say, their fiberglass boxes are very nice. I wish they would sell the boxes themselves, or even with their woofer is fine. The problem that I have with them including the woofer is, let's say this box had no amplifier. Because if you go onto the SSV Works website, you can see that their woofers are all 4 ohm. So if you want to use, you know, if I decide I don't want to use the factory amplifier in this, I probably have to change the woofer too, because most amps don't really start making any power until 2 ohms or 1 ohms. So I would need like a dual voice coil 4 ohm subwoofer to run it at 2, or some other woofer. But they only run the door speakers. The video I did with door parts, they're 4 ohm. Their woofers, it's a 10-inch 4 ohm, and it's a nice woofer. It's a decent woofer. Now, like I said, this is the first one that I've gotten that has a built-in amplifier. And this is supposed to work with the Yamaha SSV Works system, which comes with a head unit with a separate brain box / amplifier for the front door speakers. And then this is the optional subwoofer. It's like 600 bucks. And then it comes with a cable that runs to the front of the head unit and hooks the subwoofer up, so you have no other wires to run. As far as for it talking to the head unit. Now, for the power and ground, I have it attached back here to my backup battery. Right now I don't have the fuse in, because we're not going to discuss how this sounds today. This is just about how it mounts and wires. There's a couple interesting things. One, because I'm not using the SSV Works head unit that goes with this, I'm only using the speaker pods and this subwoofer. I'm using, as some of you may have seen, an Android tablet car stereo that I made in my other videos. That's going to be running my speakers and amplifiers. And I have an amplifier for the front speakers. And because this comes with an internal amp, initially I will be using this. But I called them up just to find out, you know, before it came, I was just doing some research on it. And I said, you know, does it have adjustable gain controls? Does it have adjustable crossover points? It's a subwoofer with an amp in it. And they said no. They said it's fixed at 100 hertz, which, I mean, I've done lots of systems. I did car installs for, I don't know, 15, 16 years. I mean, when paired together with their system, maybe there's a reason they did it at 100, but usually we cross subs over under 100. But we'll see how it turns out. So not having an adjustable crossover point and not having a gain control on the amplifier is kind of, I don't know, I guess because they matched it up with their system, they don't want you messing with stuff. But anyway, so it comes with this long cable that connects to, I don't know if you see it, there's a 4-pin plug there. And what that 4-pin plug is, it's your left and right positives, your left and right ground, and your turn-on lead for the amplifier. Now, I did some research on their website, and I found this. Let me show you here, get out of the bag. This is from SSV Works, and it was $10. This plugs into that proprietary cable and gives you your 2 RCAs and your turn-on leads, so you can use this subwoofer box with another stereo system. So that's what I'll be using it for. So this cable will come in really handy, and I don't have to make my own plugs or do anything special. It's all done for $10. The other thing that, of course, Yamaha doesn't mention is that I figured, since they're probably using the same amplifier that's in their basic series stuff, it's the WP series, I think, and they all have these Class D amplifiers. They barely give you any information on them. On their website, these Class D amps all say they're 300 watts, yet the Yamaha one says it's 200 watts. It's got a 40 amp inline fuse on it, so who knows. It's Class D, so it can make a lot of power to the woofer with not so much, you know, power going into it. That's the great thing about Class D. They're usually a little bit dirtier in the sound, but in a UTV you're never ever going to hear a difference between a better amplifier and a Class D. But they can make gobs of power with only a little bit of input power. Efficiency is really good with them. So I went and I looked, and I found that they made, for the WP series, a bass control knob. Now, Yamaha doesn't mention it, SSV Works doesn't mention it for the Yamaha stuff, but lo and behold, once I got the subwoofer, there is the, I don't think you're going to be able to see it, it's a really short cord, I already have it. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it, I already have it plugged in. There is a bass knob available for this subwoofer box, and I will give you the part numbers or links to the subwoofer knob. It was like 25 bucks on Amazon, free shipping, and the other cable that's $10 to convert it so that you can use it with any stereo system. I'll give you the links to both of those. Unfortunately, this one I couldn't find anywhere but from SSV Works, and while the cable was $10, the shipping was crazy. So I will reserve the sound quality test when I get everything done, and I'll give you my opinion on the sound. I mounted my battery about 2.5 to 3 inches in front of the box, so that if I have to stick another amplifier in, the amplifier I'm looking at is about 1 3/4 inches high, so I could put a aluminum plate from here down and then mount the amp in there and pull that amp out of the SSV Works box and just put a plate in its place. That's if it sounds really bad, but we'll see. So that is how we're going to wire it up. I've already got I had another sub bass controller for it, so I've already got that wired. I've got my RCAs right here, and I will come back with another video once I get the stereo going about the sound quality of this. But that's what you get. That's how much room it takes up with the backup battery installed, and I will see you soon.